my name is Beverly Harling and I'm a creative artist. I'm a singer, songwriter, composer, violinist, lyricist, and I'm currently working on a project called Ploughing the Salt Sea. I started doing some family research. My mum had never told me who my grandparents were. She lost her parents around the age of 8 and then she was fostered. I had always found this a huge mystery ever since I was a little kid. And after she died, that's when I started to look into actually where was I from? Who were these people that she never spoke about? Why did she never talk about them? And so this project stemmed from there, my research into that.
I come from women, called Elizabeth and Flo, fish guts and pig's heads, boiling on a stove.
So I've been working with Mo Cohen. So he's been creatively coaching me throughout the whole process and being my dramaturg. So this is helping me to be able to construct those stories, but also some of the stories that I've come up against have been quite difficult to process and digest. So he's also been helping me throughout that process.
Obviously one way of describing it is solo, autobiographical and transformational.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of an easy way, that it is one person on stage, in public, live, sharing aspects, fragments of their life history, where the purpose is to have a transformational experience, and by which I really explicitly mean discovering which parts of your history inhibit you or prohibit you from fulfilling your potential.
I also started working with Caffeine. First of all, she helped me to write the funding bid for the Arts Council. And then she's been helping me to facilitate the project. CAF has helped me to structure all of the research that I found in order to make it into a cohesive and understandable story.
It's been just like really magic to talk about it with people. It captures people's imaginations immediately. The project, the ideas, the kind of the murder mystery, I don't know, like historical drama thing that is actually every week or every day for you. There's something new that you're discovering. And so when it's like missing a little bit of the series as well. I've got massive FOMO when you guys like are working and I'm not there.
I come from illegitimate shame and making do. Women that steered the ship from the backwards nodding to another's tune.
So when I started researching my family tree, I knew that there would be some elements to do with Hastings, but I didn't realise how Hastings I actually am. And so as I started to trace back, I discovered that on my grandmother's line, I am part of one of the fishing families in Hastings. And because they haven't really moved from the area, that has allowed me to be able to then go back and back and back in time through to actually the 1400s. And the whole line has been fishermen all the way. And of course, the fishermen's wives. And this has been something that really has interested me. There's a lot of information that you can find out about fishermen, and I've been working with the Fishermen's Museum. Nona Jackson at the Fishermen's Museum has been fantastic. She's really been helping me. Steve Peake has also really been helping me a lot. So within the information that I've been finding at the Fishermen's Museum, there's so much information about the men, and it's so difficult to find information about their wives. So I've been really trying to dig into that a little bit further, and it's allowed me to take little bits of information that I've managed to find and then create and really go into my imagination of those characters from my family to tell the stories of the fishermen, but through the eyes of their wives and the women in their community. There's a song that I've written for my grandmother, which is from her point of view about a mystery, a sea mystery that happened off the coast of Rye, where her brother disappeared on a boat. They watched as he left the shore from Rockanow Beach. Seagulls rising, tumbling, as he sailed with a fishing fleet. His cap pushed back, the wind was fine as he waved from the stern. And my brother went a fishing aboard the Happy Return. So the Happy Return went out with the fleet, was fishing off Rye. The rest of the fleet came back, but the Happy Return didn't. So it was like this big mystery in the newspapers for like 6 weeks what had happened. There were only 2 people on this lugger boat. There was Richard Eason and there was Louis Duncan White. And his body washed up first, and then Louis's body washed up, but they still didn't know what happened to it. So it was owned by George Steele. He got a diver to come from London who dived down. They put a buoy where they thought it had last been seen. He dived down and found the boat, and the whole side of it had just been blown off.
That was it. Which lifeboat went? Which one was it?
I don't know. You could probably tell me.
I could probably tell you, yeah, because of the date. We know the dates of each.
Yeah, it was May 1940.
Well, it must have been the Cyril and Lillian Bishop, mustn't it? Because that one went to Dunkirk, the Cyril and Lillian Bishop.
Right.
So it must have been that one that went to find the Happy Return.
Wow. I also unexpectedly was contacted by a woman on Facebook who actually knew my great uncle. I went to visit her and was lucky enough to chat for an hour in her home. It really helped to paint a picture of what life was like back then. So I put something up on Facebook, didn't I? About
Uncle Lou.
My great uncle Louis.
Yeah.
So, and you replied back saying, "Oh, Uncle Lou," but he wasn't a blood relation of yours, was he?
No, it's my dad's friend, and everybody that were friends were your uncle. I think it was 1940. I was 13, so I don't remember a lot. But what I do remember was the fishing boat blew up. We found out afterwards, we didn't know at the time, that they'd trawled a mine up in the net. Dad was a lifeboat man, and they went out.
What was his name?
Jack Simmons.
Jack Simmons.
He went out on the lifeboat, was out nearly all day searching for these bodies. And he was devastated. He got called off the search, came home, and then they went the next day, and they found some of the bodies, I think, you know. But it's a terrible tragedy down the old town when boats got missing, you know.
Mr. Kaufman was a diver who came from London town. Dived 3 miles off Rye Harbour and 7 fathoms down. And there he saw that blessed boat, the starboard side all blown, for a mine had caught up in the trough of the Happy Return. So the project has become a one-woman show featuring songs, stories, very interesting characters, and there are some elements that I am still exploring and haven't quite discovered yet. I've also been collecting stories from my dad. At the start of last year, he was diagnosed with mixed dementia and Alzheimer's. And I realised as his memory has deteriorated, how important it is to capture stories from his past. And I've been talking to him about my mum and how they met and the things that he remembers about her from their earlier life. What has emerged from that is that there were a lot of things that he didn't know about her too, that she really kept under wraps. So part of the process for me has involved telling him some of the discoveries that I've made and filling in some of the gaps that he had too. And what did your mum used to like to do when what do you call it, when you were courting?
Courting?
Yeah, what did you used to do around Hastings or?
Well, the coffee bar in George Street, can't remember the name of it now.
I think it's the one where Fagin's.
It is, yeah,
now.
that one there, yeah.
But did you meet the Websters?
Yeah, of course.
Who
Yes,
were
I
her
did.
foster family?
Yes, yeah, I met the Websters, and they was really, really nice old town couple.
Oh, Dad, look at that sunset.
Yeah, oh, look at it now.
Oh.
Yeah, gosh, look at the way it's gone down. I thought it would go down or over the sea, but it hasn't. Well, it's gone down over land.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it is. Oh,
And the sea's so flat as well.
it is, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And what do you think about all the research that I've been doing and the different stories that I found out about Mum's fishing heritage?
well, I think it's one of the best things you could do because that, now your mum's gone, all there is memories. And unless you go around and see people that have actually known her, and they can give you their views of your mum, then that would have all been lost.
Yeah.
And that is something you'll treasure. You really will.
Yeah. So I'm really, really looking forward to performing these songs. My one-woman show is going to be on in June. I would love people to come and see it. I'd love people to really immerse themselves in the old town. It's such an amazing place. It has so much history here. And maybe they might see things from a little bit of a different point of view, from the women's point of view. Throughout this process, every step of the way, it's been connecting me with my mum. It's been helping me to understand things that she did and decisions that she made. And it's made me feel so much closer to her. Obviously, when someone has passed away, there are so many questions that you then can't ask them. And this has enabled me to ask those questions to myself and my imagination, and to connect myself really deeply with my mum, and also with this area too. There are so many streets that I've walked down a million times that now hold completely different significance for me. There are different streets and passages that are named after my ancestors. There are just so many little things that have helped me to connect with who I am and where I'm from. And when I started the project, those were the questions that I had. Who am I and where am I from? And I feel like I really know that now.